Good evening, Free Enterprise, and welcome to another Lali-Ho League Swiss round match. Tonight we've got Nitzy versus Y2Sky. Both of them are 1 and 2. I am joined in the booth by Microcorgs. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. I can hear the excitement in your voice. I hope you can hear it in mine. We are at the start of week 4 of the Swiss rounds of the Lali-Ho League, and this is a big match for both of these runners. As you said, both at 1 and 2. Nitzy got his win against Euphoric Lemon and then took losses to Luth and Zoe Vermilion. Y2Sky got his win against D Shmoo and took losses to Prof Corey and Infinius by under 2 minutes. So that's how razor thin some of these margins can be, and I'm looking forward to a great match tonight where they have something on the line.
Yeah, and look at the start we've got. We've got a Tele start, and we're going to be hunting for some Magus sisters, and we know that there's a ninja in the seed with objective number 5 being to find Edge. As usual, we have complete Cave Magnus, forge the Legend Sword, and trade away the Pink Tail as well.
Yeah, it's kind of nice that there's an edge there. So when you pick up those nice early preps, a Murasame, which is possible under this flag set, which is one of Edge's best weapons, you know that Edge is most likely out there, will most likely come into your party, but there's always a chance, because we do only have to complete 4 out of these 5 objectives, that Edge might be buried, perhaps in the giant or behind a key item that you don't find for a while. And maybe you get a lot of great gear for Edge, and the problem is not that there isn't an Edge, but he's just not that convenient.
Yeah, and unfortunately behind that gate, he's we also have the C Neki flag on, as we have had for all 4 weeks. And so when we do find him, if we find him early, he's going to come with no gear. So we got to find some things to give to him.
Yep, that's true. And if you happen to loot, say, 2 short swords, black belt, bandana, you might feel a little better about that than you would normally, because that's some of the gear he normally comes with, which is super useful to have. But he can come with claws. You might pick up an elemental claw that you're missing. But yeah, not with this full set of things. When you have a telestart, Bad Karma, does that make you want to loot any particular spot?
It really depends on who will come with this Tele. If I get another mage, not necessarily. I might do some just, Dam Sand, maybe Antlion, just, hoping to get a good J item or 2 to really, get maybe a Palom or Rydia up to some spells. If I find a Yang and a Kane, I might definitely be looting a little bit more. It looks like we're getting underway, though.
There is that Yang, and here's the King giving us a very valuable crystal. So we know of a free fight waiting for us in the Bygone spot, King and Queen Eblin. And, well, we talked about looting. They might have a pretty important spot to loot right away.
Yeah, that Earth Crystal giving us a Troya Treasury. We are on T Wildish. Even though we're capped at tier 6 items, still can get a really nice treasury to boost this team up, especially considering this is not a lot of firepower early on.
You mentioned the max tier 6, so they won't be finding an Avenger or Crystal Sword or some of those really great items. But yeah, you can still get a Crystal Ring. You could get Power Shirts, Zeus Gauntlets. Stardust Rod would be an amazing find early for Tele to start doing some of those first checks. So I'd be pretty surprised if both runners don't go immediately there.
Yeah, that would be my first spot. I would just be lining right over there. It looks like that's where Y2Sky and Nitzy are heading right over there. Never mind. Nitzy's heading to the Watery Pass.
Well, 1 out of 2 is not bad. Then let's see. Let's see what chat thinks. Will they rate this treasury a 1 out of 2, or will they come up with some other fraction as we are about to get an early look at some early loot?
Rate that treasury!
Double Stardust Rod. Did I count that right? Are those 3 Stardust Rods?
Yes, that was 3 Stardust Rods. Hopefully our runners find some Black Mages here soon. I know Tele can use one, but that's going to be really great going early on.
How about Palom up on Hobbs? How about Rydia at Baron? And I want to see the comets falling just endlessly, just tiny stars twinkling down and destroying everything they encounter, at least at the beginning.
Yeah, and that's gonna be really good because Tella won't get his spells until our runners climb the Mad Ordeal. So having that Stardust Rod to do a solid 600 damage, ignoring walls if we hit like a Maggot Sister, is gonna be really good for this early game.
Looks like Nitzy is kind of going with one of the things I thought. When I see that early tell, I often think, hey, let's just do a full, complete watery pass that lets you exit out at the end when you have that Tella. Though it is a bit depleted that we don't have those tier 7s as a possibility.
It has,
what he gets.
even without the tier 7s, it has been a boon for a lot of our runners. We've seen a number of defense swords, Dragoon or White Spears found in here, ribbons. A lot of good gear could still be found here, and it's really helped our runners in various races.
Well, we got half of the edge kit. We got a bandana and a short sword, and but we do have a cane up on Hobbs, guarded by the Dark Elf.
Pretty easy fight here, especially with that Stardust Rod. Should be able to make pretty quick work of this.
Speaking of a White Spear, also will help to make very quick work of the Dark Elf, who is weak to holy damage. And yeah, this will be probably a 2-command fight, one for each form.
Nitzy's going to give us a look at the waterfall, just finding CPU. Not something you'd want to really get that wet.
I guess Nitzy will now be searching for a big bowl of rice.
It's pretty close. I mean, it was a big, gray ball of something hanging out in the water.
But as predicted, very easy fight. Y2Sky actually using the white cast and doing 3,200 points of damage to the first form of Dark Elf, and then the Stardust wrapped it up.
Yeah, not something we often have seen with these people just choosing to jump or swing with that White Spear, but it does cast white, and in this early going, it can hit pretty decently.
Time to take this really big power relative to the early game over to Antlion and just wreck through whatever's here. We'll see if Y2Sky decides to do any more looting at this point, but there's a good chance he might be done, at least for now.
Yeah, with Antlion, and having the treasury early on, I wouldn't suspect a whole lot of looting in the Antlion. Maybe just the things that you touch, but probably not going out of his way.
Not even getting the one that you touch. Who needs it? He's got everything.
Nitzy, unfortunately, got bodied by one of the Troya ladies in town, getting in his way.
Yeah, never getting that second back, but we got a double check happening here at Lion Cave.
Those of you out there in Free Enterprise land who like to fade Antlion, today may not be the day to be doing that.
You'd be fading 2 checks. Not Y2Sky, though. Y2Sky is going to get through this pretty quickly. Always nice to get through demist without the phase change, and in an early spot, that's very possible.
Yeah, unfortunately, due to that holy resistance, that White Spear not doing the work that Y2Sky was hoping for, but is rewarded with a Bahamut summon.
So if you were late to the race, first of all, where were you? We started 6 minutes ago, but you missed an early treasury check, but you're about to get a repeat, I believe, by Nitzy. Checking out the free side first. Some great items here on the free side.
Yeah, we do have a quick question, chat, from Rivalith. For the back row glitch, you are correct. You just need to equip a back row weapon. They don't even have to swing it. They don't have to fight with it. You can do it outside of combat. But once you equip it, you can take it off, and that character will do full damage. There are a couple of caveats to it. If you want to do it with a bow and arrow, you have to equip both the bow and arrow. And if you want to do it to edge, you have to put that boomerang in his right hand. It will not work in his left hand if he's dual wielding.
Got the Luca key pickup from the miss check, so Y2Sky not forgetting that when we get underground access. Usually not a check people rush to do, but if it has value, there could be some advantage to be gained by an early Luca check if you think you can handle the fight.
Yeah, and it's a good check because you can just kind of, waltz down there, see what the item is. If it's nothing, save scum back to the top. But make sure you check the boss before you leave, though. I've done that. You don't want to be leaving a Magus Sisters down there while you're hunting for it elsewhere.
That would be a really fun spot to see the sisters with the high magic there. If you go there too early and they are there, and you don't have a way to get through them, that could be a bit rough. But yeah, I've definitely made that mistake where I reset immediately upon being perhaps disgusted by seeing an item that I don't need and hitting reset and then regretting it immediately.
Yeah, I wouldn't be worried, if we had already found the Magus Sisters and maybe Demas is down there, but we've also already found the Demas. So not going to be a huge concern, I think, for our runners, as Y2Sky is making his way right up Mount Ordeals as Nitzy is heading to Antline.
Ordeal's great for a bunch of reasons. If we end up finding a Cecil, he'll be a fully powered paladin by that point. Tello will get his spells, but with that boss hunt remaining, 3 boss checks, they're going to be easy spots for this team. Might as well check them off and see if we can run into those Magic Sisters right here, right now.
Yeah, not relatively difficult spots. The back attack, depending on who's there, is pretty rude. We've got Kanazo here. Definitely glad to see him here and not elsewhere.
I dare Kanazo throw out a wave. A trickle wave that barely can cover the feet of a toddler wading into the ocean.
Pretty sure Kane just taunted him and said, I'll just jump it.
Perhaps even nerfing the wave that might hit for 90 damage. Let's see if the timing worked on that.
Yeah, if you are new to Free Enterprise or, a newer runner, Kanazo's Wave is an HP-based attack. I believe it's 4% of his total health. His current health, not his total health. So, the more damage you can do to him before that wave, the less it will do to you.
Yeah, there's some variability. Yep. Folks in chat pointing out 4 to 6, but yeah, that's kind of the number. I usually just kind of estimate the 5%, go from there, and decide whether I need to do some early damage to mitigate the wave, or if a nerf is in order. Now, again, here, Y2Sky can do basically whatever he wants, and he's going to get through this fight.
And Nitzy made pretty short work of that D-Mist. Doesn't have the Cane yet. We'll see if he heads up to Hobbs or if he's just going to turn in that D-Mist.
Got a very wavy ordeal tonight. 2 bosses that throw out waves. We will see this wave. This wave will not be nothing. The team will be able to handle it. This one does it basically just a quarter of your max health every time the wave hits. But again, good composition here, good equipment, no problems. Thunderclaw, I believe chat pointed out on Young. I bet we're about to see a pretty big hit.
What if Ogopogo is in the closet? Just all the waves on Mount Ordeals.
Get them all out of the way. And unfortunately, a commentator's curse a little bit. The Ice 2s will hit for a little bit here, and did take out Young before the Thunderclaw power punch hit.
X Pancras pointing out this is a full-bodied mage team with the whites coming from Kane, the Punch Mage down, and Tella.
This fight actually getting a little scary if an Ice 2 hits that Kane. I'm not sure with the gear if he would survive, but this white might do it right here.
He's got a couple pieces of Dragoon gear, so I think he might be okay.
There's the back attack crumble. Experience only on Kane, but no big deal here. We'll see if there's a safety save or just a bold walk into the mirror chamber. Bold.
And Nitzy's giving us a look on the west side of Hobbs. Nothing of value there. Just maybe an Earth Hammer for Sid we don't have.
With the early treasury and some of this early loot, I think both players are going to be pretty set for money for a while. I think they have 2 Baham summons at this point, and I think, let's see if Nitzy gets, I think there was a second white spear in the grass here. Let's see if he goes for that.
And there was the darkness crystal too for Y2Sky, and that's a blue robe. Ooh.
It's not one enemy in a blue robe. It's what, maybe 15 to 20 enemies in a blue robe?
Yep, and this is where the Stardust Rod is going to do some work.
Yeah, I would not be unhappy to see this here. Get this out of the way. Stardust Rod through.
And getting experience in a spot you don't normally get experience.
Yep, that is true. There's a couple of the fights, like the Baron 2 fight in the inn, and this one where, yeah, you normally don't get experience, but if that gauntlet shows up, and usually those are fights that you're doing relatively early anyway, so it's nice to get that extra little boost.
Yeah, and seeing the darkness crystal for Y2Sky, you know that your opponent's also going to have to come through here at some point. Now, whether or not, Nitzy comes later, and, is a little stronger or not, we won't know, but the time commitment's going to be roughly the same.
It wouldn't be much faster. The Stardust is going to do everything you need. It's not like if you had Quake with someone, it would probably be slower.
Gonna get our Baron in check though. 2 more bosses here and a character check.
Well, I've seen it heard that Edge's real name is Edward, but this one doesn't count.
Yeah, not the Edward we are probably looking for. Those of you out there who are fans of the Bard, and we know who you are. We haven't found a spoon or anything, so it's very possible Edward will be spending a lot of time on the floor.
Or maybe the Seed will be kind and immediately hand them a spoon from this fight, in which case I would guess the floor might not be in his destiny.
I would 100% agree with you on that. There's 2 types of Bard in this game. There's Edward, and then there's Spoonward.
Yeah. Yeah, that prefix matters a whole heck of a lot. That is, I believe, unless we're talking about the new Supersmith flag where we have the Final Fantasy Advanced super weapons, I think the spoon has the highest attack rating of any weapon in the game.
Nitzy's through the luggage fight. Ooh, there's a Lunar Sparkle.
Luckily, it's one that's weak to spears. We've got that white spear. I think this might be a 1-jump fight. Plague is a flying monster. Flying monsters are weak to spear attacks.
And meanwhile, Y2Sky is through that gauntlet. He's probably going to be making his way over the Baron unless he decides football defense.
The Doom countdown is running low, but I think the Stardust ends it. I think we're right at that level. Yep. Come on, Spoon. Give us some fun right away. Well, it's not quite a spoon, but that is a weapon that does make Eddie somewhat usable.
That is a great weapon for Edward. Artemis Bow raised a lot of stats that makes him pretty good as an archer. Y2Sky, meanwhile, raising the whale, going to give us a look at this moon character.
Yeah, I expect to see. Well, maybe we can go back and forth here. Like, if you're going to the moon this early, so you say character, I say shop. What else could we do up here this early with access to the moon?
I would think peek the cave value boss. We are looking for Mega Sisters. That's good to know. If they're there, it kind of gives you an idea of how strong you need to be to complete that objective. The cave value boss, has a decent chunk of magic, a very punchy spot. So I would peek it just to see who's there. Maybe it's a freak fight. Get a nice infusion of XP.
We do know it's not King Queen Evelyn, which might be the only one I would take right now. Even a Water Hag, as you said, that's a very punchy spot. It would be hard with a team of not that many characters, though they probably will have 4 by the time they get there. And I believe someone pointed out that Nitzy picked up an hourglass in the inn, which sometimes when I get that early hourglass, I'm tempted to take the hairdryer's chest and get some experience and hopefully luck into a big item, but Y2Sky, unless the Moonshop sells hourglasses, probably won't have that option.
Yeah, the hairdryer tress is a good option. It's a lot of XP, chance for a tier 7 item. Also, could do a reaction grind if you want to try and get lucky with that. It could be a little tough here. But again, another good quick infusion of XP.
Yeah, reaction grind's one of those tricky ones because you need to luck into it, and then you need it probably not to be a back attack, which it seems like my luck. Whenever I try that, I find it, and then suddenly it's a back attack, and you can't get the attack off in time. But when it works, all you have to do is cast Lit 1 on a single grenade enemy, and he will then do a reaction script and take out all the other enemies. And it's a decent amount. I think it's either 10k or 14k, depending on which formation you get, somewhere in that range. But I found it to be pretty frustrating at times.
Yeah, and Y2Sky finding Rydia here. Do have Bahamut summon, do have a Stardust Rod. That's a pretty nice pickup in my opinion.
Yeah, that Stardust Rod, we got to get a few levels on Rydia to allow her to even begin to think about casting it, but you get a few levels and then a few levels more, maybe she can start casting 2 per fight. And I don't know, what do you say with the Stardust Rod? Are they hitting between 5 to 7k damage perhaps per Bahamut?
It would probably take her to about level 25 to be hitting that, but yeah, that the base power on Bahamut is that good, you know. And as Nitzy is showing us, the other wave caster is in Fabul, so not far away from ordeals.
Well, unless they have fun with a big doll later, I think that's it for bosses that cast wave. I guess if Elements comes up.
Yep, do have one boss that always sits out one seed. Could be Elements, could be the dolls, who knows? As Y2Sky heading over to Baronet.
So there's a lot of generosity of power happening.
Wow.
We just got the Avenger. There is a Kane already. We have Bahamut. We have a Stardust Rod. We have everything but a spoon in terms of the power that this team needs.
Yeah, and with the checks that we've seen done, it looks like the path forward is actually going to be through that Tower of Zot, too. 2 more boss checks, 2 character checks.
Yeah, that's right. At this time, you might be thinking, well, maybe there's a D-Mist out there, but we found the D-Mist already, and that led to the Luca key. There are certain challenging flag sets that get played sometime where we have an unsafe flag, which means your underground access is on the moon, but for this tournament, we are not using that flag, so it is guaranteed to be on the overworld somewhere. And as you said, it's probably going to be Earth, though I guess it could also be Earth into Harp or Baron, which would be the other 2 things that could add on to that chain.
Yeah, and Nitzy getting that Avenger before doing ordeals, that's going to really speed a number of those fights up to get through Kanatsu and Leviathan with a very angry Kane.
Our tracker Jeebus pointing out that Nitzy bought a Soma drop, kind of useful for Tella, gets Tella from 90 MP to 100 MP, and the big deal there mainly is it allows Tella to cast Meteo, which every once in a while you might whip out that Meteo and basically clear a boss in one shot. Granted, with a slight delay, but it's now possible.
Hey, if we run into Vanilla Magus Sisters, we can start doing vanilla speedrun strats here.
That's very true. Heads up by Nitzy using the white chocobo to refill after applying the Soma drop. No tent needed, no ether needed. Wandering into the forest, picking a black sword out of the forest, but more importantly, grabbing the MP refill.
You think Cecil just dropped that sword there on his way up the mountain? Just be like, I'm not going to need this. There's undead up there.
On the way up, or maybe on the way down, as he fully, transforms from bad guy to good guy.
So Y2Sky having that or having the Darkness Crystal done has his full party right now. Has Edward, has Rydia. She got a little bit of XP, not a whole lot. I think she lived through that first Baronin fight through with Dr. Luge.
Yep, she's got about half the MP necessary to cast Bahamut. It's got an MP cost of 60. She's at 35, so 1 more fight, 2 more fights. I think after Fabul, she'll have enough to at least cast it once.
And as we're retreading our steps here, I do want to give a shout out to our runners, Nitzy and Y2Sky. Please give them a follow if you haven't done so. They're putting on a really good race for us tonight, being available to be restreamed. We can't do this without them, volunteering to be on this. So please do give them a follow. Also to the rest of the restream, we've got Neobari, our restreamer, rolled this seed for us. Apparently wanted to go a little fast and generous with the loot. We've got Jeebus doing the tracking, and to my co-commentator, Microcores, please give them a follow as well.
Thank you, Bad Karma. Go follow Bad Karma. I'm happy to be working with you tonight. I've heard your cast before, enjoyed them, and having fun looking at how these runners deal with all the power that's been dealt them by Neobari.
And it has been a very generous seed in terms of our rewards and our loot. Not so much on the key items, but we do have some big ones with the Earth Crystal and Darkness Crystal in hand already.
Yeah, I don't think our runners are going to be scared of any particular hook route at this point. The Avenger Sword, the Bahamut, basically, to me, would get you through anything tricky that you might encounter.
Yeah, Avenger alone, that's a number of big stat boosts that makes Kane just tear through most anything, 1,000 damage a hit, without even worrying about the Avenger glitch even. So we'll probably see really short work of this Tower of Zot whenever our runners decide to tackle it.
We'll see if a move I like to do and many runners like to do. It's not my own move, and I've learned it from so many other people. It's just the idea you put the Avenger in the middle on Kane, get the speed boost at least for that first fight, and that first boss might only get 1 or 2 turns if they're lucky as Kane slices through him.
Question in chat from Smarfy Smart. The Avenger glitch, you start the fight with the weapon that you want to do the extra damage on, and then equip the Avenger without pressing, and only hit B, go back to the fight menu, but don't hit fight. And then what will happen is you will have the stats and attack power of the original weapon, but you'll be berserked and, from the Avenger.
And as you pointed out, though, there's certain times in the game like now where you don't even worry about that. You just game. And, the times when it matters the most, of course, are when you have a Crystal Sword, an Excal, or perhaps Kane has a Dragoon Spear that you'd like to take advantage because the Dragoon Spear hits dragons extra hard, and, if you want that free Berserk with your Dragoon Spear, that could be good. But we'll see if Y2Sky goes straight Avenger or swaps out the White Spear, which is not a bad idea either.
Looks like keeping White Spear for right now. Could be just anticipating something that is a little rude, but we'll see what this first boss fight is.
Yep, doing a nice thing, moving the Avenger up in the inventory so you don't have to go hunting for it. So I think he does plan on doing a good amount of swap. Only one sprite, but before we saw the other two.
This Kane's going to make really short work of this Water Hag, only going to be stopped by Anna.
We got both blue robe fights happening at the same time. What a lucky day we are on this stream. One's a little bit longer than the other.
One of them talks more than the other.
It's kind of a pep talk, though. I always feel really good coming out of this one. I always just try to be strong, just throughout the rest of my day. Just be strong. Open that pickle jar. Be strong.
Believe in yourself. Even if you're face down on the floor, you got to believe it.
Always great to give the pep talk to the face down bard.
He just swooned so hard over seeing his love in ghost form.
Yeah, you can't blame him. But look, there he is again. There's another one. We only have one spoon, but we can have 2 Edwards. We don't even have the 1 spoon. We can have an Artemis bow Edward, and if we find the spoon, a Spoony Bard as well. Let's see if we go with the 2 Edward strat.
And Octomammoth is going to be our second boss there in the Dwarf Castle as well. That would really prioritize Dwarf Castle for me, knowing that boss is there. That's a really easy fight, even though it's really fast. Only 3,000 HP, and that's just physical attacks you got to deal with.
Yeah, and you would know, like, say you do the Avenger glitch in the first fight, you'd know it'd be perfectly fine going into that second fight, and you have a Yang with a Thunderclaw. Yeah, you're absolutely right. That would be such a quick skewering of our fishy friend.
Yeah, and one thing to note too, both characters in Zot were dupes. We can only have 3 dupes total because we had the C Distinct 10 on. So, there's only one other dupe out there.
I believe we're about to get our first application of the Bahamut.
Good time to be able to use it, that's for sure.
Yeah, it is the ultimate room clearer. I think Kane would be fine on his own, but Riddy is definitely going to help out and wipe away the 4 remaining dolls.
Honestly, Kane can't be trusted. He could still betray you by killing all the red dolls first. We know the path to the underground is through Tower of Zot. Let's see if the chain will continue or if it will allow us a little bit more checks to check.
Immediate gratification or delayed? The answer is immediate. We've got a hook.
Another character check at least.
We happen to find our Edge here. That is, of course, Edge's vanilla position, where you discover him in the straight playthrough through the original Final Fantasy 4 or 2, depending on where you got it. Y2Sky did not raise the hovercraft yet, so you do have to go through the Damsian Castle and raise it up. And I bet we'll also get that waterfall check again. Our rusty CPU short-circuiting. Look, it crashed the game.
Just had a moment of, dude, where's my hovercraft? And we'll see if Nitzy heads back to Earth or it's gonna do a peek on Cave Value.
Haven't paid attention too much. I'm hoping Nitzy has at least one of those Bahams left. I think each runner had 2. If they went, I think they both had 2, and I didn't notice whether he sold one or both.
Yeah, I think he still has one based on the last time I saw his inventory, but that was before, ordeals and things happened, so.
Tracker G was pointing out what we were talking about earlier. He does have the Hourglass. Will he choose to kind of charge up his party with an Hourglass fight? A hairdryer's fight using the Hourglass, and Bahamut unfortunately wouldn't be online before. That would be a great way to clear them, but he does have access to Tela and spells. But it looks like we are going to get that K value check. Let's see what that has for us today.
And Y2Sky found the Stalemate chest on the first chest in Cave Evelyn. That's going to be really great. Going to be able to full loot. This is definitely a higher tier loot spot if Y2Sky feels like he needs a little bit more gear.
Picks up a nice protect ring for his trouble. Was that another white spear? I thought I saw the word white again, or was that white arrows?
White arrows, it looked like.
Okay.
Taking that Blizzard Spear in case we run into, let's say, a vanilla Rubicante, or even a French vanilla Rubicante at King Queen spot.
Got a pretty good shop here. This shop is guaranteed to have 2 of the tier 5 consumable items. We have coffins and sirens, and we have a required boss at K Bahamut.
Hey, at least for Nitzy, that's great because he knows. Wow, well, I'm gonna step back there. He now knows how strong he needs to be to clear this boss spot. If he can go and find the rest of his key items on Earth, he knows exactly where his go mode is. If he can find the rest of them.
Yep, and K Bahamut is known for being a super strong, punchy spot, and one character will get punched on each one of their chained commands, but the magic, especially if you take some time to get some levels, is not going to hurt so bad there. Low magic, high physical, just has to be able to survive the punches with each round. and I don't think it's going to be a problem by the time he decides to take it.
Yeah, especially if he decides to maybe get that Rydia powered up. That Bahamut will tear through the Magus Sisters. 2-3 casts of that will take care of them.
Yeah, I'd be pretty excited to make that check and to find them there for sure.
Dropping the big money for 2 cat claws for Young.
Big stat boost. Young, often referred to as the punch mage, because typically, he doesn't get any attack power from his weapons, and he doesn't from the cat claw, but they are high accuracy, and they give you those stat boosts as well, which is going to have the effect of increasing the damage. Another Stardust Rod, of course, if you ran out, if the old ones kind of lost their batteries.
Also good to sell. Y2Sky just dropped a lot of money, so that's going to replenish his money coffers really quickly. Sylph Summon as well.
The power keeps coming. It's not our edge, but it is the other character that has to be behind a gated key item. And there's that potential vanilla ruby that you mentioned. We'll see who that ends up being.
Could be Ruby and friends.
Who? What's going to be your character swap here? Taking the foo.
I think because the Edward got some XP, I think you keep the Tella, especially going through the hook route. It could always be good to have 2 casters like that. While Eddie could do some work with the Artemis bow, especially with some agility. I agree with that choice myself.
Yep, we do have the curse ring, so Tella can gain levels, can stay up. And Eddie could stay up for a little while, but eventually he will outpace the true effectiveness of the cursed ring. So yeah, I would agree with that. We can always replace that Tella later if we find someone that that'll do a better job for us late game.
Yeah, we've killed a good number of bosses. This foo is going to be almost full power, I think. And it'll be interesting to see what his spell list is right now to get Y2Sky through the hook route.
Yeah, either way, if that's a ruby, if that's elements, we have the Blizzard Spear that you pointed out. We have Bahamut, and we perhaps have Nuke or Fire 3, or let's see. So he's at 1500. He gets his full list when he's at 1900. So he'll be missing a handful of spells. Hopefully they're not the most important ones. Yep, I thought we'd take a look at that.
Has Quake at least. That more AoE, more room clear. Not too many bosses, although Magus Sisters will be really good to have that Quake for.
I mean, if we could run into a Runax, you could have Avenger, Runax, Quake, and Bahamut all firing off of those Magus Sisters, and we get a nice free fight here in the King Queen Evelyn spot, which can be a fast and very hard-hitting spot, but this fight's over now with that coffin applied to the officer. These soldiers aren't going to know what to do.
Yeah, convenient coffin sitting in the Evelyn Cave shop. This fight's already over. The soldiers just don't know it yet.
And I would not be surprised if we do not see a save here after such an easy fight and a very strong team who I don't think is going to have necessarily any trouble there. And Fu did just learn Nuke. He gets new spells unlocked every time you defeat a boss, and we now have Nuke.
Yep, gonna see that switch right back to the top of this magic inventory. Not gonna save.
Yeah, no saving. And there's that vanilla ruby.
I think that's twice I've called it. I called the Magus Sisters in Cave Value.
Well, I think the rule of threes, you got one left coming to you, so pick your spot.
Oh, Fu barely lives through that glare.
Glare can be so scary in other spots, but vanilla glare with enough hit points.
Got the Bahamut coming, got the nuke coming.
See a big cure 4 from Tella. Oh, direct, yes, that's going to full heal. So good use of Tella's utility. Group cure 4 probably is not going to do that much, but the direct is always going to heal a character up to full.
Yeah, even with that curse ring on, that cure 4 is going to do a full heal.
Unfortunately, Rydia is going to be going down from this one.
Yeah, I don't. Oof. Yeah, chat pointing out is rocking an Ice Brand or a Blizzard Spear with this cane, so he is swinging for 3,700.
So with Nitzy completing Zod, I think that means aside from what Y2Sky has done on the hook, that both runners are basically even in terms of what they've checked, with Nitzy having the advantage of knowing that Magus Sisters are in Cave Bahamut. So Y2Sky is probably going to get through the hook a little quicker, but that knowledge that Nitzy has could prove to be pretty valuable.
And yeah, and just being, a hook route behind, Nitzy's got a lot of games still to be able to, close this gap. And like you just pointed out too, having that knowledge is really gonna help him plan for when he tackles that spot.
Yeah, maybe if the Luca cave boss would normally be on the back of your mind, hey, should I check that for both the key item and the boss? Maybe it steers you away from Luca, better or worse, knowing that you don't need it.
Yeah, and our tracker Jeebus pointed out, Y2Sky is through the hook route at 39 minutes. That's an excellent time to get through a hook route, especially with, going through Za and checking the moon as well.
It's as if the seed knew our runners would have a lot to do and gave them the tools, and these runners are using them well, leveraging their strength to get through what they have to get through as quickly as they can, as we are in a race. And in case you did not know the stakes, both runners are at 1 and 2. A third loss to either one of them would eliminate them from further advancement, though of course both runners can continue to race. They just will not be able to make the bracket stage if they hit that third loss. So big stakes here. Both of them are desperate to get that second win and keep themselves alive in this league.
Yeah, just getting to the bracket is huge, as Nitzy is going to be greeted with the mop, and wondering if this is going to be vanilla or if it's going to be Leg and Friends. Y2Sky looks like going to be doing some eggs as soon as he hits the underground.
Taken out is Tella. Tella will not be enjoying the bounty of experience that he's about to get. And let's see what method he uses. Looks like we have not the microwave, the earthquake.
Yeah, I would be really tempted after this egg to just slap that Avenger on Kane and let him bash the egg in.
Looks like we're one and done though for now, and we'll see what Y2Sky chooses to do next.
Looks like prioritizing the character check and 2 bosses.
Yeah, with that character check still available, I like this play. Obviously, Y2Sky doesn't have the knowledge that the boss isn't there, but from Y2Sky's position, still needing the boss and the character, this is a great check to do. You get 2 bosses. We'll see one right away here, and then we will get the character in between. And we have a Dark Knight Cecil in, I think, a fairly kind spot for this team.
Yeah, only about 8,000 HP here. Not a very punchy spot either, so this wave is not going to do a ton of damage. We also know that the Octomammoth is right behind this, the DKC as well.
Yeah, you get to peek that character, where Golbez would normally be menacing you up in Tower of Zot. You get the sprite of the boss in the second spot, so it's good information to have. And if Y2Sky paid attention, as I'm sure he did, he now knows that this is not going to lead to the Magus Sisters.
Looks like he's also going to just ride the waves out. See if he can get this Rydia up in time.
Yep, full experience for everyone but Tella. Tella's fine, though. He's got his full spells, and he's kind of Fu's understudy at the moment.
He doesn't need levels. He's not going to live through a Big Bang later anyway.
We'll see if he even makes it to seeing a Big Bang. But he is a pretty good anchor.
Now, if Edge is here, do you dump the Tella, or do you dump the Yang, or do you dump the Rydia? I don't think you dump the Kain.
No. I do not dump an Avenger, and the Avenger comes with Kain, so Kain gets to stay. Not tempted by Palom, our Quake kid, because we have a Quake older gentleman, and we have a Bahamut kid, so no Palom necessary.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. You're already, thinking, how long are you going to keep this Rydia? Do you want to take her all the way to Nuke? Because that's, quite a bit of work. Or are you just planning, hey, I know there's an Edge. I've got one Edge sword so far. I think, didn't we find a Murasame in the treasury? I want to feel like we did.
I was going to ask, because I'm not sure if I remember one, but I definitely haven't seen everything they picked up.
I'm not sure why. I thought that we had an Edge sword already. Maybe it's because you pointed out that short sword earlier.
So yes, we do have an Edge sword, unless it's been sold for its bounty of however many gold you get for selling a short sword.
Our tracker pointing out has not seen one. I would trust him over me. Getting just a ribbon though. Dwarf Castle being kind of a bust. Ribbon's nice, but not what you want to see.
We have Nitzy making his way through his Vanilla Ruby fight. Only has 2 characters left. We'll see what his next move is. If he's just going to keep piling on the damage up. We have another nuke coming out from Fu. 2 hits coming in. Unfortunately, taking out that Yang. So if this nuke does not end the fight, it might be a bit of a scramble to get a character up to avoid the glare.
Ooh, going for the YOLO here, not worrying about getting a character up. Ooh.
If this Quake lands, this will be great. I will love it.
Oh, we lived through the glare.
I think now's the time we need a character. Oh, yep. Unfortunately, Fu falls to the physical side attack. And unfortunate wipe from Nitzy. We'll see how he regroups.
Did take the safety save, so won't have to redo the officer fight.
I was focused on that fight. I missed the free chest and Fey March. I don't know if Tracker can fill us in on that, or if you saw it, Bad Karma.
Looks like it was a tower key based on what was lit up.
Okay, yep, I'm seeing that now. Very good.
That Fey March does not give joy.
Who was beside the Pale Dim? I missed the other sprite.
It was the Evil Wall in Leviathan spot.
Okay, well, listen, we do have a ribbon, and the ribbon has a pretty special characteristic when it comes to Evil Wall.
It does, and Nitzy still has his Edward.
So ribbon protects against instant death, which is most useful both against Golbez when the dragon comes out to take out your characters, and also the crush phase. The trick would be getting there. So Eddie could potentially, no Eddie on Y2Sky's side, but still an Eddie on Nitzy's. We'll see what the play is here.
Yeah, I think the Pale Dim is definitely doable here. The Evil Wall is probably more doable for Nitzy going with the Edward strats.
Yep, and we have those Artemis arrows, the Artemis bow. Apply to Rydia. Rydia is going to be some of our damage here, hitting that Well, right now hitting the floor, but hopefully for Y2Sky's sake, eventually hitting that dragon weakness. But a little bit of scrambling here to get some characters back up.
Yeah, needs to get the blinks up. Pale Dim is script is it really easy. Just gonna counter physical attacks with slow. Gonna counter summons with quake, and then otherwise pretty much just punch you. So once the blinks are up, this fight is can be really easily managed. So just has to take it, not go too crazy.
Don't you think he should have just had Rydia throw Bahamut's? Bahamut's such a powerful spell. What could go wrong?
Oh, just a quake counter, just which easy to deal with. You have a Fu who can cast float.
That is true. I was kind of half joking when I said that, but yeah, that's a good point. You go into this fight floated up, and you could launch Bahamut's, but again, the trick is keeping Rydia alive with blinks or something to mitigate against the strong punches.
And Nitzy skipping Dwarf Castle, going to be heading right into the Fey March.
Let's see if that Pale Dim fight pays off. And it pays off as far as the key item count, but that's about it. Magma Key rendered useless because we're underground already. We don't need to go undergrounder.
Game, please.
I don't know what's the bigger insult when you go through like a tough hook route and you find the Magma Key in the free chest, or then you take a challenging Fey March fight and get it. Both are not that great.
Yeah, can I just throw it into the entrance hole on the way I fly up so it gets out of my inventory? I don't want to stop an aggro.
No, I mean, it is fun to throw down there, but
It is.
we got to go fast.
Gotta go fast. As Y2Sky going fast right to the bottom of Sylph Cave. Gonna try and shake Yang to wake him up. Not gonna work without the pan. So we'll see if he does the tower with the tower key in hand, or if does Sheila 1 first.
Yep, our Tracker G was pointing out sometimes when you have that tower key, perhaps you go hunting for the pan before making that Fey March, that Sylph Cave walk, but Y2Sky doing it in this order, and I'm sure he won't be too upset to find the pan and make that walk again as quickly as he can to get the full Sheila checks out of the way.
Yeah, so I know there's a number of schools of thought to handle the tower. How do you like handling the tower if you've got the tower key in hand? Do you do the cannon room on your way up, or do you save here and then go to the top and saves come out? How do you like to handle that, Microcodes?
Unless there's a boss hunt, and for Y2Sky there still is, because he does not have the knowledge of Magic Sisters at Bahamut. Perhaps I would do tower first just to see if the boss is there, do the super cannon room. But I would say most of the time I'm going to the top first, especially if I have a party like this that I'm going to feel pretty confident in that they can take anything. I might have even been tempted to not save, but saving is probably the much more prudent play here. I've had to walk that tower fully a couple times thanks to my, hubris.
Yeah, that's never a fun time to have to re-walk up the tower. Something rude. We do know it's Baigan up here at the top, so between our Bahamut and our Quakes, we should be able to handle it.
Yeah, I think this will go pretty smoothly for both of our runners. And with the skipping of the dwarf, which is ultimately fruitless for the purpose of completing the seed, aside from that ribbon, which might unlock an early evil wall, but aside from that, Nitzy's basically just a minute or so behind in terms of this current route they're both on.
Yeah, Nitzy choosing not to do either of those two Fey March bosses, heading right into the tower, right on Y2Sky's heels. Made up a lot of ground, but is 2 checks behind. But does have the knowledge of where Magus Sisters are.
We'll see which decision Nitzy makes, again, with that knowledge of the boss. Perhaps not tempted to go directly to tower. Super Cannon Room. Yep, going to the top as well. We may have 2 simultaneous Baiken fights, or one might just be wrapping up as the other one begins.
Yeah, and there's no chance of Nitzy or Y2Sky skipping that cannon room. We have so many key items we're still looking for. So it's going to get done. It was a matter of in what order.
Yeah, if we make the crazy assumption that the edge is, say, hidden behind the giant and unlikely to be found, that means we would still need 4 additional key items. We haven't seen either half of the forge. We haven't seen the harp, and we're still looking for that pink tail. And those will get this seed done, combined with the Magic Sisters at K value, assuming edge isn't easily accessible somewhere else.
Dr. Kozak, we've seen a total, I believe, of 3 Stardust Rods so far. Both Fu and Rydia are rocking Stardust Rods.
Yep, I believe there's a 4th one actually in Cave Eblin. If you
you're right.
Really need to fill out your stat sheet at home.
We just need 1 more for Stardust Rod Bingo.
Quint Stardust Rod?
We'll find a way to get one of those on the Yang and Kane.
Yeah, if we power into a jump, I think one of them will get it. I don't know a lot about the hidden mechanics, but that might be one of them. Where's that ribbon? Who's wearing the ribbon?
I don't know, but not where you want to see Golbez. You expect to come in here, have 1,000 HP to whittle down, and now you've got to listen to him just laugh at you.
Sometimes you can view this fight as hold A to get through the fight, and you're in and out in seconds, and the longest thing is the cutscene as things explode, but this time, this will be the longest part. And I definitely don't recall if he equipped the ribbon on anyone. I would assume he did, but I sometimes forget to do that.
Yeah, and not sure when, and maybe if he did it like, after or before a save or something like that.
But we'll be fine. Fu lived. This is not a hard-hitting spot in either aspect, and this fight will be over with the first command that Y2Sky chooses to do. I just noticed it was just a golden apple from the top of tower.
Yeah, again, not what you want to see. It's looking more and more. The path to completion is going to be up on the moon for sure, other than that Maga Sister fight.
Maybe Luca Cave starts calling.
Yeah, and chat is wondering if Y2Sky still has the Artemis bow on Rydia. I did not see him unequip it. I saw him put it on it before the Pale Dim fight.
Yeah, it's as much knowledge as I have as well.
So depending on what this key item is, we have Sheila 1 and we have Luca and we have the moon. I personally would be kind of thinking moon. I might dive Luca just to see what's down there. But moon is definitely looking a little bit more lucrative.
With these characters, there'll be plenty of ways for them to either take the moon spots and level up that way, or perhaps use a siren on the moon to get some experience. And I think they'd be able to clear it pretty easily. Usually, sometimes the 1 hour mark is about that time where you start making that call. I'd probably be tempted to check Luca first, but the rat tail check could be good. We've had the hook. Let's see what rat tail leads to.
Yeah, I would be tempted to do Sheila 1 first, just in case she gives the pink tail. And chat, that is correct. Palom was at Dwarf Castle.
Yeah, I like your idea of checking Sheila 1 first. Let's see if we get a quick drop-off of the hovercraft and onto Sheila 1 or the direct landing. Of course, Rat Tail could give pink. That's always a fun turn-in.
That is always a fun turn-in too. One less menu there. You don't have to go and select the pink tail.
Turns out Rat Tail was important. That's the Twin Harp. That will lead to Objective 1, Complete Cave Magnus. I bet we're about to get some music a la Eddie pretty soon.
I would Sheila 1 and Beeline right into Cave Magnus.
Let's skip the Sheila one. Let's go right for the music. Y2Sky knows what chat wants.
If you are new to Free Enterprise or only seen a couple of matches or only played a couple of Siege yourself, you may not know the Twin Harp spot during the vanilla game. Edward gets out of bed, starts playing some music to distract the Dark Elf. We like to randomize that with tunes from other games, other pop culture references. I believe there's over 260 different songs it could be now. So we will see what our music is tonight.
There are quite a few, and a whole bunch of new ones got added in the most recent update, I guess within the last month or so, whenever that occurred. And yeah, I've been on a streak of hearing so many that I've never heard before. And the development team, mostly Calamity at this point, but some other folks have chipped in as well, have done a great job adding some really fun songs to the list. Much more cheerful than that sad vanilla song that Eddie plays.
Does Y2Sky do the safety save? Looks like that is the case. We have still not seen a Wyvern.
We have a little bit of a cutscene first with only 2 characters alive. I'm not sure if they're magnetized, but a kamikaze or their spells should be able to take each other out.
Yeah, this will probably go relatively quick. Foo's gonna looking for the kamikaze. Just gonna wait for the cutscene at this point. And Nitzy bailed on the rest of the underground checks too. Turned in the rat tail that was given to him, and is looks like Sheila 1 for Nitzy first.
Nitzy continues to ignore the checks that Y2Sky did, combined with the knowledge of Objective 4 location. This could be pretty strong for Nitzy, especially if this is also something required from Sheila 1. But it looks like it is time for us to give the stage to Eddie.
That was Dancing Mad. That is a fantastic rendition of that. Nitzy got the pink tail from Sheila 1.
So I don't know, does that count as your third prediction? You weren't firm on it, but you did suggest going there to see if that was the case, and it paid off for Nitzy.
Yep, and unfortunately he did have to make 2 trips, but I think he's going to count that as worth it. As he's lit up Objective 3 and is going to be lighting up Objective 1 here shortly. And
we'll get to hear that harp song again. Yeah, that was pretty fantastic. I like the low rumbling bass as the intro before the melody kicks in.
Yeah, I have not heard a song I do not like. They're all fantastic. Kudos to Calamity and everybody else who's contributed songs. Y'all are fantastic. Thank you for giving us, such great music to listen to. And Y2Sky is going to be getting his pigtail here shortly.
So Y2Sky will have objectives 1 and 3 done, probably before Nitzy finishes objective 1. But as soon as Nitzy finishes this, he knows objective 4 is a K Bahamut, and then for go mode, he either needs to find that edge, so perhaps something like a package or the Baron key, which was given by Cape Magnus, could lead to that, and that could be basically go mode for Nitzy if that pays off, or we still have to hunt for the 2 halves of the forge.
I'm not gonna lie, I am team always Baron. Every match that I've commentated, it's been in Baron.
Well, that might be your 4th prediction, and I'm believing in you. I want to ride the bad karma bandwagon of predictions tonight. They've been coming true.
Yeah, for me, Baron Castle has been really lucrative, especially with this mixed boss character check. You get 1 character check, you have 3 bosses and 2 key items all behind that Baron key, and our party is strong enough to full clear it, which is where Y2Sky is going.
Y2Sky may give us the information that might, unfortunately, spell his own defeat if he doesn't immediately follow up on doing that K value check. If this is indeed that edge.
Just as good the second time around. Hood Ornament, that is Dancing Mad from Final Fantasy VI.
And as Nitzy picks up his Baron key, Y2Sky reminds us that the bygone spot was the free boss pair of Nevlin. We'll see who resides on the throne tonight, or well, we'll see. I don't know if Y2Sky is going to check the basement first. Probably not, because we do need that character look. I would say is more important at this point, and let's just get through the main check would be my feeling.
Yeah, if you've been banking on possibly taking the edge, if you find him, you want to find him, sooner, especially before going and doing that Odin spot. I believe Y2Sky is at 10 key items now too. So finding edge here could get double XP in that Odin spot for a fresh edge.
I wonder if edge gets taken, because as we're noting, I don't think we've seen anything too great aside from that short sword. I don't think we've seen a mute knife even.
Speaking of mute knife, it would be useful here for this Sura fight.
It would. We'd get that bonus damage, but I think nuke, even without bonus damage, is going to do a number on a Sora. Must have been a mute nuke.
It does seem to be the case. That was surprisingly powerful.
The joy of wielding a Stardust Rod and launching black magic spells. Let's see if we get our valued character. We do not. We get a powerful white mage who is not making the team.
Yeah, I don't... I'll say something controversial. I'm not a fan of Forum. I know some
How
people
dare
out
you.
there are,
How dare you?
but even at
He
this
is-
point,
No.
it's too late to take her.
Fu is the good enough white mage for what we need to do. Tella can chip in the direct cast cure 4s in emergencies.
Yeah, so our final character checks, we have the package, the Sand Ruby, and the Giant.
I don't believe either runner has peaked the bed character. That's a really important play to make before going to the moon. That way you know whether or not the Sand Ruby sends you back. So we'll see if either runner chooses to do that. And maybe now you want the edge.
Yeah, that's a Master Moon. That is exactly what you want to find if you've got an edge on the table. Oh, a Y2Sky, you forgot the Odin spot. Okay, whew.
We up here in the booth, and those of you in chat know this will not be the Magic Sisters, but it could be one of the halves of the Forge, and it would be really valuable to get one piece of Forge if indeed your next play is the Moon. That way you know you can come back as soon as you get that. And for all we know, perhaps the Magic Sisters are guarding a half of the Forge in their spot at K value, but we'll see what the Odin Throne has for our runners today.
Yes, Beowulf. Magus Sisters are hanging out in Bahamut's Cave. Nitzy is the only of our two runners who knows where it is. That's Sparkle.
And these are dragon bosses, and we got the Dragoon Spear from the Pinktail turn-in, and Kane's about to jump on one of them and probably do a big chunk of damage.
Yeah, and unfortunately, one of the counters for D-Learners is they counter summons with a remedy spell.
Sometimes with D-Lunars, you want to wait them out, throw up some Star Veils, have them reflect their own breath back on them, but this party is so strong, the Dragoon Spear, the nukes, there is no need to wait them out. We're just going to wipe them off. That one jump did 8k damage. Rydia does 2k damage against Tella.
And she's got a Stardust Rod. She can do damage to enemies or friends.
She's a black mage on a swivel. This way, that way. There's a big pickup. Pan leading to 2 more checks.
Definitely want to do that before heading to the moon for sure.
I don't recall if I've ever had a turn-in. Maybe I have. I just don't remember where the pan leads directly to Adamant and Legend, but that is still on the table. We're running out of key items, and we have 2 checks coming up, and that could be pretty thrilling at this point for either runner to kind of run into that kind of luck. We'll see if it happens.
Also, still have the Luca cave that hasn't been dived into yet.
We'll see if being forced underground by the pan, leads either of the runners to make that Luca check. My guess is no, but I might be tempted to put the save outside of Sylph Cave after running down, checking the Sheila 2 and then resetting if you're planning on doing, say, Luca, or maybe trying to tackle that evil wall if you really want to test yourself.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That would be a pretty heads-up play in terms of routing. You don't want to have to come back. I don't see a problem with fading that evil wall, considering the items we have left.
I think we're probably about to see who's in the Kaipo bed. They just picked up a Sand Ruby. For all we know, that could be Edge. Big reason to return to the overworld.
And one other thing about the Kaipo bed, that's also a free heal. Could replenish some MP and some HP as well.
I wonder if there's anyone that you would take that free heal if it's not an Edge. Is there anyone they're looking for at this point?
A duplicate Fu.
Vanilla Rosa? Oop, thinking about it.
No.
Well, consistent. Didn't take a Porm, didn't take a Rosa. Equal white mages in all accounts, as we all can agree upon.
Yeah, has a ribbon, has a protect ring. Would probably like to find, a little bit stronger armor for Fu to get through the big bangs, but probably thinking, Fu's probably just going to carry it. Now we're down to just 2 character checks.
Yeah, Dr. Cossack kind of working out in chat. Do you take that Rosa or not? At this, the time is working against you, but the thing working for it is perhaps you're about to take a bunch of moon fights, and that Rosa would get online pretty quickly at this stage with 10 key items. So if you did want the white mage, that would be a benefit there.
Yeah, so if you're Y2Sky, you haven't seen where the Magus Sisters are. Do you maybe just hope that Edge is on the Giant and head there first? Got 10 key items. Those 2 boss fights are pretty much your grind.
So that's what we're talking about right now with coin flip, huh? Because it's either package or Giant. Yep. Do you flip that coin? We're about to find out which control does he go to. We're going Moon. Hopefully for his sake, he peaks in at K value.
I know I've been losing all of my coin flip checks in my recent races. So hopefully it does pay out for Y2Sky. And hopefully, like you said, he does PK value before diving into LST.
And it looks like we're diving into the LST before K value. We'll see what the play is here. Top down, bottom up. I might be tempted. What do you think? Bottom up because you're looking for the 2 pieces of the forge, or do you do top down to just get that initial peak on the Morisame altar? This is always a question that's been coming up with this league.
I think you're missing 2 key items. You got to go to the bottom. You need 3 key items essentially, or 2 key items and a boss. I think you go to the bottom. That's the most dense spot to go if you're Y2Sky.
That is true, right? Without the knowledge. Yep, absolutely. We'll see how quickly Nitzy goes back up to take care of Magus, because as we know, that could be guarding a key item as well. That could make those Magus Sisters hard required.
Ninja Debugger, yes. Y2Sky checked it is a Rosa.
We'll get to find out if Nitzy has a different thought about taking a Rosa 75 minutes into a seed. Will there be hesitation? Immediate walkout? Nope. Immediate walkout.
Yeah, I think Nitzy is definitely good enough to take on those Magus Sisters right now with Bahamut and Quake and Angry Kane. So, gonna have that advantage before diving into LST.
I would guess we're less than 20 seconds away from seeing who's guarding the ribbon room. It's got 2 key item checks in it, and with the team this strong at this point, after a little cabin, replenish the team fully, I expect to see a ribbon room check from Y2Sky as Nitzy follows up on Sheila 2.
Yeah, and this is a great XP spot. Y2Sky is in the mid to low 30s, I think. Yeah, mid-ish 30s. So needs to get this, full XP for as many members of the team as he can.
Y2Sky just ruined Kane's nearly perfect outfit of all Dragoon gear, but putting on the ninja hat instead of the Dragoon hat, definitely can't argue with that. Get a little extra stat boost, and we'll see who's here at Ribbon.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's a Mom Bomb. Not a terrible spot at this time with this team. We'll probably even, Mom Bomb is known for having basically an extra 10k stacked on top of the hit points that it normally comes with. But with this team, I think we probably will not see the bomblets unless we have to scramble to get some characters back up. Tella getting in on the mix with a blink. There's our Swiss Army Sage doing a good job.
Yeah, Nitzy's gearing up to do Dwarf Castle.
Well, we know it's not going to pay off, but here's a crazy thing. We know it has the ribbon. We know Evil Wall is down there. Will Nitzy feel emboldened as the checks are growing thin to perhaps with the Eddy, with the ribbon, make that kind of play? But we'll find out.
Yeah, I don't like that play. Even with the Eddy, at most you're going to get half a forge. I would rather do that Magus Sisters first, do the objectives, see what you get out of there, to know maybe if that gives you a package, you'll know if you've got a new giant or not. I don't think the wall there, even with Eddy, is the right play in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it would definitely be an outlier. It would be a gamble for sure. Not the standard route you might want to go.
I think I might be more inclined, since I am underground, to check Luca before that.
Right. Get that. Face check the key item. You know you don't need the boss. See if it's half the forge or the package, and go from there.
Now, if you check Luca and it's half the forge, then you may want to check the evil wall. There was the spoon in the ribbon room.
Two big swords, kind of. The spoon is, of course, not a sword, but a high attack power spoon. And we have, is that our second Masamune that we've seen?
I could not tell which of the Hanzo Steel it was. I know it was one of them.
8 letters, starts with M. Guess that's all we need to know.
Yep. Starts with M, ends in Nini.
That boss ends in a Vern.
Ooh.
Wyvern, Highvern, Witchburn, Byvern. Let's see what the plan is.
My plan is to go down to the Masamune altar after seeing that personally.
We do have Dragoon and an Avenger. Dragoon hits Dragon weakness. Wyvern is indeed a Dragon. Just get that wall up, and I think this becomes a very quick fight.
Yeah, one of the lower HP spots here on the moon.
If
Gonna
this
try
doesn't get something you need, do you think you reset back to get the Star Veil back? It's your one and only.
I don't necessarily think so. We've seen Golbez, we've seen Asura. Is there really anybody else that you're gonna wish you had a Star Veil for?
Maybe if there's some hybrid spell bouncing in Z, would be a thought. And you don't want to rely on a wall, though you could do a wall and bounce some nukes, as long as you're careful.
And I think we saw Star Veils for sale either in Dwarf or Troya.
It is possible Y2Sky perhaps has another stack that perhaps didn't get sorted up yet.
And as you predicted, short work on the Wyvern.
Know who those would be really good against?
Ah!
So based on that logic, the Magic Sisters will be giving us a rune axe, so no need to worry about what they're hiding.
Nitzy played his game of Dude, Where's My Hovercraft? Looks like Nitzy's probably going in for Sirens.
What do you think? Sounds like going to be following Y2Sky up to the moon at this point?
Yeah, that definitely seems to be the case. May plan to do some Gold Dragons before those Mega Sisters.
Could also, I guess we'll know if Nitzy goes underground, you know, the Dragoon Spear makes super quick work of those eggs, and despite them giving less experience, I think it's probably generally faster, especially if you have any thought of doing any of those remaining underground checks. But yeah, I think you're right. If Moon is where they're headed, perhaps we see dragons. I think Nitzy still has an hourglass. Did we ever see those for sale?
I don't think so. I don't think we've seen them for sale.
Nitzy should have one, and one gold dragon, especially if you can get a life glitch, or 2 would be big, but it looks like we're going to probably do eggs.
Yeah, doing eggs. Y2Sky had one and used it on these Baron guards. Ooh,
Oh, had
Fu.
an hourglass.
Yeah, and Fu just missed the fatal.
Well, luckily, Kane had a fatal in his pocket in item form. $10 item doubles your experience, 183,000 experience points. I think you keep this, even if the item is not something you care about.
Absolutely, that is a lot of much needed levels for Yang and Kane.
And there's an item we don't really care about. I believe Kane is already wearing Dragoon armor.
If he's, I believe so, because we pointed out earlier that he almost had a full set.
Yep.
Dr. Kossack, we do still have 2 more checks.
Two more checks and a guaranteed 4th objective in cave value. Which perhaps is leaning more and more towards guarding another needed item. We'll see if that comes true, or perhaps a crystal sword will give us something valuable. It would be another 50-50 bad karma, but if this happens to give package, I mean, at this point, is that an immediate check?
If you're Y2Sky, no, because you don't know where Magus Sisters is.
Mm-hmm.
I think you got to check that Murasame altar if you're Y2Sky, not knowing. Luckily for him, if it is package, you know, he's only got 2 more boss spots to check, so he'll be able to make up this ground really quickly.
We're getting some ews out in chat, I think, for this Val at this spot.
Yeah, this is not a terrible spot to find Val. I don't think Y2Sky will have any issues. She punches, but I mean, even Yang only took 1,000 damage. He does have a glass hat on, though. I just realized as I said that.
Yeah, and without that, I'm not sure if it would have one-shot him, but it would have got him pretty close.
It's interesting that he is going with Caden jumping. I don't think the spot is actually too terrible that, you know, Berserk Kane, Berserk Yang probably would have got through it.
The jumps do trigger punch when she comes out of Tornado, but as long as you can keep yourself topped off, as Y2Sky is doing, he should be okay. Though all characters might be one-shot at this point. Not the back road Kane geared up.
Yeah, he just kind of shrugs it. Meanwhile, Nitzy is still cracking eggs over there, going, not sure if his plan is to go all the way to Nuke. Is keeping Edward alive. Here's the Adamant, though.
So we're going to get that Legend Sword from one of these next few checks, perhaps, unless it's hiding on one of the 2 abandoned underground checks, Luca Cave and Evil Wall at Leviathan. So what is that? Do we have 4 spots potentially left that we could find this this Legend Sword?
Yeah, and I would expect Y2Sky is probably just gonna heal up and turn right around and go check that Murasame altar.
Best case for Y2Sky is that gives Legend, and then he dips over to K value, and then he'd be in go mode, ready to take on Zavromus at the end of the seed. Would probably, you know, keep the the small lead he's had over Nitzy for a good portion of the seed, despite Nitzy's knowledge. But if if the Magic Sisters are guarding that legend and Nitzy takes another egg or two and heads right there, then I think we're going to have a very close finish.
Yeah, both runners have been doing an excellent job. Nitzy fading a couple of checks that Y2Sky did.
I think Nitzy's going to give us some very important knowledge. Nitzy's going to take the long walk for our behalf. Tell us what is waiting at the end of the Luca Cave.
Some Dark Imps here at Murakami. Man, this moon has been very generous despite the Wyvern. Guards fight, now Dark Imps.
Would have been a tricky moon in some spots if you came up too low leveled with that Mom Bomb and the Wyvern, but yeah, other than that, some free stuff and a strong team. That's about to get stronger, applying the life glitch, basically doubling the experience for each imp life glitched up, using some quirks of how different stats interact. You get to throw a life potion on your enemies and basically treat them like you killed it twice.
Double the XP. If you're hunting for items, double the chance for items.
Pretty good news for Nitzy not to have the legend there. Nitzy's still in the running, especially if legend ends up being here.
That would make really interesting if legend is here at Luca, because then I would be worried Nitzy goes and does the Leviathan spot. Whereas Y2Sky heading to Cave Value.
And we have knowledge where both halves of Forge are. Our runners each have one. And let's see who the boss is guarding the legend sword at the Luca Cave.
That would mean the package is either here at Cave Value or at Leviathan.
If it's here, then we that aforementioned coin flip. Y2Sky would be a coin flip away from go mode if this is indeed package. And if it is package and it's not edge, then do we see an immediate giant? Or does Y2Sky go clean up the remaining checks? That's an interesting call.
Yeah, that is interesting. I personally, considering you can't just go in and, you got a full clear to get that edge, I think it's probably faster to do Luca.
I feel the same way. It'd be hard for me to make that call, I think.
Because with Y2Sky too, he could check Luca and then knows immediately it's behind that evil wall if it's not there.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, he's got the knowledge of all the moon checks.
Unfortunately, Nitzy has to get to the Crystal Sword altar. So if you're Nitzy, do you go top down? I think the play is, you're looking for one key item. I think you kind of got to go top down, but...
So perhaps Nitzy's best thing is if this happens to be packaged into Edge, I think that helps Nitzy out. Because, that Crystal Sword altar, even if you're going top down, many runners top down means Bahamut, Morisame, and then the 3 spots low before doing Crystal.
Yeah, and if you're looking for one key item, you're probably going to do Crystal Sword last because you're going to hit Ribbon Room.
Yes, absolutely. And there is the package. Yep, this could have been hard required Magic Sisters the whole time. We're about to find out.
Yeah, I think Nitzy needs Edge to be at the package to be able to keep this close. For chat, yes, that does mean we are in no mode. We know where everything is to complete the seed. And we'll see where Nitzy goes.
Quick
Uh,
reversal.
I do still have 2 checks in the Fey March.
Yeah, that is right. Y2Sky did half of the Fey March way earlier in the seed, and Y2Sky is now
Ah,
going to be entering
there's-
into go mode.
There it is. With some stone twin lighting the village on fire.
That's kind of an ominous and kind of a dark sprite to be used. So, yeah, in addition to randomizing the music and randomizing just about everything else about this game, we get a nice random sprite as the evildoer burning down Miss Village.
Now, I definitely think you don't take this edge. Even with Rydia not at nuke level, you still have Yang and Kane at, berserker power.
Yeah, so what we're looking at essentially a hybrid setup. The 2 berserkers going, maybe the occasional nuke toss if you can fit it in with Fu, but mainly he'll be healing up his zerkers. Yeah, I don't think you want to do any major party changes as you enter the end game here.
Yeah, that's a good point, Dishmu. Could just chuck the spoon.
Dr. Cossack reminding us that the Star Veil was used on that Wyvern, was not reset out of. So yeah, if you want to pursue any kind of spell bouncing, it would be with a wall, which kind of extends things a little bit. You have to cast the wall, and then that takes a turn. And then you have to, of course, make sure it doesn't disappear sooner than you think.
And who is going to bar our way to get this edge out of the bed?
It's getting crowded here in the inn.
Just a little bit.
I did the quick math. There are enough beds, so I mean, there's a very peaceful way to resolve this. Everyone can have a really comfy night's sleep here in Kaipo Inn, and no fighting necessary.
Nobody told Kane that.
No, Kane likes to stretch out. You put your luggage on one of the beds, you sleep in one of them. One is kind of the where you might eat a snack.
Yeah, so Nitzy is through the Pale Dim fight. And Y2Sky has the crystal.
Yep, 4 out of 5. In case you're new to watching this tournament, this is you only have to complete 4 of the 5 objectives, so it allows runners to reach that crystal, which gives them access to damaging Z. You can go to Z as soon as you have access without the crystal, but you won't be able to do any damage. And Y2Sky, speaking of access, has the pass item, which allows the shortcut through Troya, and is about to take on, it looks like to me, our final boss.
Yeah, and we do typically have a question that we like to ask. We can randomize so many things. We can't randomize where Zeromus is. He's just too ugly. He's too powerful. But we can make him a little less ugly, usually. So we do randomize what Zeromus looks like. And as the Z flags start coming out in the chat, we do ask a question. Microcorks, do you want to do the honors?
What's in the Troya shop? No. There is another question, and that question is, whose butt are we going to kick tonight? We're about to find out. As you said, there's definitely well over 20 to 30 different sprites, probably into the multiple hundreds at this point. And we're about to see one of them. There are many new ones. It's always fun to see a new one that you haven't seen before, or an old favorite that you haven't seen in a while.
There
Lord
is one.
Hornady.
There's one I'm hoping to see.
Yeah?
I have not seen it yet. I don't know if anybody's seen it yet. I was one of the people who got to win a lottery for Highway to Three Stone.
You won the lottery?
I won that lottery, a lottery, and I got the
sprite is now in the pool.
I did get to submit a sprite.
And I'm assuming it's under wraps. I'm not sure if I've seen that one. I know I saw sheep launchers.
Yeah, like I said, I have not seen it. I haven't seen every single race, but I have not seen it pop up yet.
Well, we're about to find out. Unfortunately for Nitzy, finding out that even at super high levels, the wall here is no joke.
Yeah, there are some people out there who will call this Gambit's Wall. That is due to a community race a few months back where it was a hard required evil wall at Leviathan, and there were many wipes to be had that day.
This is kind of nice. This Z sprite is basically on par with our character sprites. Sometimes it's big and intimidating, but this seems like a pretty fair fight to me.
Oh, sorry, Jeeves corrected me. It was Ground Flyer's Wall. And yeah, Proto Man from Mega Man. I had the whistle going in my head. I don't know if anybody else out there did.
That's right. Oh, now I do. I just forgot about it until now.
Oh, that was a really fast Big Bang.
It was nerfed, but yep, looks like Rydia must have taken a counter nuke, and both Rydia and Tela go down, and they are definitely the two least important members of this final Z team. We'll see if any efforts made to revive either one of them.
Is he still working through this evil wall?
Yep, just saw that Moonveil in the inventory. I don't think he applied it, though.
Had not. Gonna hide Eddie, though.
Y2Sky just took full power Big Bang, but Fu importantly survived with 400 hit points left. Is about to take a counter nuke, however, will not live through this one, unfortunately.
Ooh, and that's rough. I don't think Yang is berserk, though.
Yeah, it looked like he was in ready for him, and the black hole comes out, so we have a definite chance of recovery right here.
Yeah, evil wall starting to chunk through this team. Not sure how much damage Nitzy has done to it.
Yeah, I unfortunately was not paying close enough attention to know if Nitzy put the ribbon on Eddie, which would allow him to survive crush phase, and then if you could get him attacking with the Artemis bow setup, could still get through this. But in a way, both runners right now facing very challenging bosses.
And evil wall is in crush phase. Let's see if that ribbon's on. It was not. Meanwhile, Y2Sky still working through Zeromus.
Yeah, the main damage being those, it's like 2 to 3, probably 2 to 4K swings from Kane, so not the beefiest, strongest Berserker party, but still definitely now getting Yang in on the mix. Still definitely doing some damage, and as long as Fu can stay up, has a shot still to clear this fight. Applying some ether to Fu. Fu is very strong, but has that limited MP pool, so always good to top that off before you get to Fu's turn and realize you can't cast any of his spells.
Is he back in here against Evil Wall? Rydia was able to take a hit, so trying to get a Bahamut out.
We're going to need a low roll here on Y2Sky side, and unfortunately we do not get it, and that Fu goes down. I believe both characters are now berserked. We'll see if we hit a black hole.
Damage rolling out though. We'll see if he can get the recovery. There's the black hole.
We saw viruses on that last phase. If we push through to nuke, it might take some good RNG. Here it comes. See who gets nuked. Probably the better option.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the option you want to have happen right now.
It'd be really nice to have both Yang and Fu at full hit point. I don't think the Cure 4 is going to get him there, but it'll definitely... Let's see, do we have any curatives? Pretty strong Cure 4.
Yeah, not sure if he switched that life staff that he got from the Murasame altar.
Good job by Nitzy getting through that wall. Tough spot.
Well done, Nitzy.
Unfortunately, it's not going to be a key item.
I'm not sure. Is that our second set of white robes?
I don't recall seeing one, but I definitely could have missed one. And if that is the only one, that will definitely help, further help if we can get white robe life staff Fu as your healer in the Z fight. That's not too bad.
There are rocks, though, on Y2Sky's side.
That is exciting. This has been a very good fight by Y2Sky, getting through some Fu going down a couple times, and I think he's going to be safe here on out.
Another round. Everybody's pretty well topped off. Should be able to make it through here.
Going for that direct nuke ending. Gonna need, and that is it. We have a win. Y2Sky staves off elimination, picks up his second win. Excellent job. Excellent fight by Y2Sky. Good game.
And with that ding, I believe we're joined by Y2Sky. GG's.
Thanks. Yeah, really surprised I came in first on that one. That's definitely one I'd prefer to have back.
Is there a particular? We thought you played great, especially that Z fight, having to recover with Fu going down a couple times. Is there? You talk about taking it back or having it back. Is there a particular moment that stands out to you?
The end game is a lot less stressful if I go top down, check value K first, take the edge at that point because I don't have a lot of experience and don't have the sunk cost into the LST experience, and then just go crack eggs and just power overwhelming it. That would have been my preference, but it didn't turn out that way, and I consider myself pretty lucky to get the win.
Yeah, you ran an excellent race. My first question for you, though, you were the first one up to the moon. You checked the character, you checked the shop. Was there any thought to check K value, knowing you had a boss hunt?
No, not to peek it. Usually, especially with the early darkness, I figured I'd go back up there anyway. Didn't think about it from the boss objective standpoint, and I'd already saw King, Queen, Evelyn giving me pretty much at the start of the game. So at that point, I don't think I could have done anything else free. So I just kind of went back down. But yeah, peeking that would have been a big help.
Yeah, I had that thought there. There weren't a lot of free fights that you could have done other than the one you saw. And yeah, as you said, seeing that first would have allowed you to actually make Edge a full-fledged member of your party. You ended up getting some great Edge gear kind of late. But then, of course, Edge was the latest of all. How do you feel about all that? Both of you got some excellent early power, and I'm sure you were not too concerned about the hook route with all that early stuff.
No, not really. Especially just getting the food. That's pretty much gonna seal the deal. But I was definitely happy to get the items to carry the overworld early.
Yeah, the seed was really generous early on with giving you that treasury and a Bahamut summon and the Moon Rydia. So you were zooming through pretty much everything once you got back with that Rydia.
Yeah, at that point I didn't put too much stock in it in terms of kind of evaluating where I was in the race because most of the field is going to be able to go fast with that configuration. So it's going to be just coming down to routing and button presses, and routing has been my Achilles heel this flag set.
Yep, sometimes you make the right guess, the right choice, and it can drastically shorten the time. Your opponent went back and took the evil wall fight, which we knew by watching you wasn't going to lead to a key item, and that even at high levels that was a difficult fight. So that kind of helped your case a little bit with the time spent there. But yeah, all that early gear getting you through the Avenger and the Bahamut, and then the Fu on top of that. Were you happy with your, aside from that, what you mentioned with the Edge, you also turned down the Rosa late. Was there any thought, we kind of saw a quick step forward, step back, and then left. There was slight consideration for Rosa?
Yeah, mostly because, the radio wasn't really going to do anything unless I got enough experience to get her to nuke. But at that point, I had done so much of the moon, and the rest of the party was so high level. And again, I was starting to feel behind with everything else I checked, so I didn't. I think I felt like the grind was already set for the most part.
Yep. Yep, definitely be reasonable calls on all fronts, and came down to, as always, a very elusive character hunt, or at least sometimes. If you hadn't seen that Edge there at package, would that have been an immediate giant for you, or would you have cleaned up the Earth checks?
Let's see. No, because I was at 16 out of 17, and Luka Key was the only check left, which had to be the Legend Sword. So no, don't go giant. Sealed K for 17 out of 17.
Yep.
But yeah, the irony in all this is that, yeah, with a Tela or with a character that can cast Exit, I will peek that Bahamut boss almost every time and just looking for a free fight, and I just didn't because I knew the King Queen was Baron already, and just not even thinking, oh, this gives me intel for boss fights.
Well, you're sitting at 2-2 now. You've got to win out to be able to move on. How are you feeling about your next two matches? Or anything you're going to change up, or are you going to just keep playing your game?
At this point, I'm pretty happy with my game plan and strategy overall, and especially my execution. I feel like my execution has been my biggest source of improvement over ZZ3. So regardless of what happens, I'm kind of happy about that. I don't know. It's really tough for me to tell how I'm going to be able to do those two matches. I really needed to get at least one of my matches against Infinius and Prof. Corey, but that was a pretty good dose of reality as far as my barometer against the field. So yeah, I don't know. I can't really think about it being both matches. I think I just got to go try to go 1-0 every week and then see if I'm there.
Yeah, I was looking up your record ahead of time. We both share the honor of being defeated by Infinius, both relatively closely, you much closely. It looks like your loss to Infinius was just a couple minutes. That's a tremendous showing against Infinius, who's an excellent runner. Yep, and that one probably could have gone either way with the time difference as close as that. And we definitely wish you luck in your week 5 match coming up next week. Anything else you'd like to tell us about your run tonight?
I think we covered all. I think we covered all of it. Props to the admins and the restream team for putting this tournament together. It's been a blast. The flag set is a blast. The field is fantastic, and I found a great time.
Well, thank you for being willing to be restreamed. We can't do this without you as well. You put on an excellent race for us to be able to commentate, and hopefully we'll see more from you here soon.
All right, thanks.
Great job. Have a good night.
Yep,
Yep.
Oh, go ahead.
I think we're about to say the same thing. That, of course, was Y2Sky, our winner, going to 2-2. And yep, it's he just has to win the next one and not worry about the one after that. Keep himself alive next week. See who he gets matched up against. He's got a lot of time to practice if he chooses to do so, and perhaps scout his potential opponent list. But I'm sure he's very relieved to get that win on a well-run seed, and Now even record 2-2.
Yep, and as we were doing that interview, Nitzy did complete Mega Sisters, got the package, passed on Edge as well. Heading into the Romus, going to be taking on Protomus.
And is the party comp essentially similar? Do you think it's going to be a pretty similar Z fight to what we saw with Y2Sky?
I think it'll be a little different. It'll be a little bit more full Zerk. He has the leveled Eddie. Unfortunately, the Eddie does have an Arnis bow, but I think the arrows are only lit arrows. So not a lot of power from the arrow, unfortunately. So we'll see how this goes. I don't know if Nitzy's Rydia has nuke even.
All right, and looks we have Yang in the anchor spot, so I guess we're going with a... Is Yang at 28 there? Is he at 42? I don't think he's at 42.
I believe around 52 is when he hits 28, if I recall that correctly. And Nitzy's in the ballpark for sure in that area.
Yeah, I saw him setting up before the fight, but I wasn't paying close enough attention to grab the exact number. But the all-important silk web getting thrown out, pretty important when you're not at that RA1 number.
Ooh, interesting, going with the Bahamut summon from Rydia.
Protomus wanted no part of that Bahamut, despite holding a shield. The true defense is just eliminating the threat before it even happens.
So I see what you're doing there. You're not doing that.
She telegraphed it. She was, chanting a spell, rubbing her hands together.
If you're playing Final Fantasy 14, a big red circle showed up underneath Dromus. Nerf Big Bang. Edward probably will live through this. Unfortunately, like you said, has only lit arrows. So Artemis Bow lit arrows only doing about 400 damage.
Not sure if anyone in chat saw the equipping. I'm wondering. Let's see how this Cure 4 comes out. Yeah, I mean, everyone got to full. No one was too badly damaged on that one.
Yeah, McCain is doing some work. 3,000 a hit. Yang doing some power. Is going to be doing some damage too. This should be pretty standard unless something just goes freakishly wrong, I think, for Nitzy.
It's like attempting another nerf. That's a good target as any for that counter nuke. Yang does not care.
Says, I've got all the HP. Black Hole's out, but not affected. Yang wasn't berserk there, so keeping safety going on.
Yep. Gonna try that Cure 4 again. Fu is running a little low on HP. Still kind of in the danger zone. We generally think of 2,400 being a good number to be at, and Fu doesn't really get there naturally. You'd have to get crazy levels or find some apples. So we still need food to survive this unnerfed Big Bang coming up right here.
Yeah, I believe Nitzy does have that white shirt on, which will really help Food get through some of these Big Bangs.
And that certainly did. Looks like it hit the guys for close to 2k and hit Food there for 14, 16.
Yeah, he just shrugged that off, just wiped his hands on his white jammies and said, nope, not dealing with this today.
tracker pointing out we are indeed in Phase 2. Phase 2 comes with a direct nuke for free. I didn't notice all the elixir pickups. Those are pretty useful there.
Yeah, using those to keep Yang topped up. Probably going to be popping one here on food to get his MP back.
I think he's got at least one left, maybe two more. I can see the exact number.
I think it was 3.
Okay.
Not sure where they were hiding. Feeling good about this fight. Gonna go ahead and zerk up Yang.
See if the gear can do its magic again. Keep our Moon Man alive. Oh, it does, but I think he's going to run out of HP. I don't think we're going to get the necessary turns to get that Fu.
Oh, no, yeah.
That's unfortunate.
I don't know where we're at in the phase, if we're going to get a black hole next, or...
Oh, we are in rocks.
Oh,
we're gonna
no.
need some dodges. Can the Yang get through this?
Punch Yang!
You can do it. Sheila believes in you.
It's been roughly about 4K.
We get one more. Oh, I thought we'd get another punch before this mediocre. We need a low roll here. Oh, by about 50 hit points, it took out the Yang.
Oh, man.
Yep.
Quick reload.
That was a perfectly fine fight. A couple numbers went a little too high, and that's how quickly that can turn.
Yeah, unfortunately, that big bang into a medio. Dives right back in. Didn't look like there were any other changes.
The RNG, the randomization of a randomizer in all of its forms, including just the randomization of the the damage numbers that the base game would give you anyway, all play a factor when we do stuff like this. The choices made and how they kind of all mesh together with where things are laid out, kind of led to where we are now with Nitzy wrapping up and going to be coming in our runner-up position tonight as soon as he gets through his Z fight.
Yeah, unfortunately, won't be able to further advance into the Lali-Ho League event, but hopefully we'll finish out the next 2 rounds, get some more racing in, and who knows? We'll see where things go as round 2 against Protomus is coming up.
Yeah, for anyone who is not too familiar with this one, you hit 3 losses. You have been eliminated from further advancement, but you still get to play. There are 6 weeks of Swiss rounds, so 2 more potential matches for Nitzy after this, should he choose to continue. I've seen kind of discussion happening because these last couple weeks, we're seeing some of our first eliminations, and people are making different decisions. Everyone's got to make the decision that makes sense for them, whether they like to have some more competition, or whether it's time to pack it up and perhaps either focus on other flag sets or other games and await the next tournament whenever that might happen.
Yep, so Yang getting the Zerk this time. I believe a Bahamut got off, but I don't know if it was too early to do any damage.
I believe a Bahamut has been queued again. Let's see if the Bahamut gets applied this time.
Oh, this could be dangerous. That Bahamut's going to trigger a nuke counter.
If it hits that Foo, yeah, that might not be the best result. It does big damage, but there's that counter, and there it is right on our white mage presence tonight.
See if Nitzy can get the recovery going, have Rydia get the life on Foo. See if we can get a Cure 4 off or something before this unnerfed Big Bang comes out.
Unfortunately, it came out a little too fast for that. I think perhaps if that Yang had been unberserked, maybe would have had the time, but yep. Nitzy choosing to reset, that would be a very difficult one to recover from.
I'd be curious of what Yang's agility's at right now.
So put the curse ring on Eddie, but that Artemis arrow is still providing an agility boost. The Artemis bow, is the Artemis bow plus 15 agility?
It's 10.
10. So even with that off, I think Eddie gets down to 21, which is still not an ideal number.
Yeah, I think it might be more advantageous to possibly put that curse ring on the Rosa or the Rydia. And Dodo, yes, I believe Edward also does have a ninja hat on.
Yeah, I was thinking, without that Rydia getting to nuke it would be nice to have an Asura just to kind of roll the dice and hope you hit the 2 out of 3 for the big cures that Asura can give, but I don't think we saw any Asuras picked up during this run.
Yeah, I don't think we saw any. I mean, we were so focused on the Leviathan and the Bahamut we got earlier.
It's one I usually tend to sell pretty quickly as soon as there's some kind of white mage, and if I had a Foo, there's a good chance that gets sold, but if it was sticking around in my inventory late, I would definitely throw it on and hope for something good.
Well, Nitzy's gearing up for round 3. Let's get it. Let's give Nitzy some cheers, give him some freeing blesses, and let's get Nitzy through this fight.
I think the Yang emote is one of the newer ones. It's definitely one of my favorites that's been added. I find myself using it for power, fight, maybe as like a high five or a fist bump. Lots of uses.
Excellent emotes all around. Skylar Kitty, if you're out there, well done as always. And let's see where we go from here. What's Nitzy got planned here?
Choosing to get the big damage out from Bahamut and perhaps hoping the counter nuke lands on someone a little more convenient. Fortunately, Protomus has different ideas.
Says, I know what you're doing. Foo's able to live through this one.
And yep, there's one of the 3 elixirs being applied. This one is definitely going off in time.
Berserking Yang. The black hole. That's well timed. If this counter nuke comes in and takes Fu, at least Yang will be unberserked to be able to help get him up.
I was hoping that Cure 4 would go off before to perhaps keep someone alive when they take the counter nuke. Maybe he'll hit Yang? Nope, it's going to take out Kane.
I think that's probably acceptable too, considering that just lifting Kane up will get him swinging again.
Yeah, much better than the Fu.
That beard may be weird, but you want him healing you.
Yeah, you want to see that beard shaking around as he's charging up his Cure 4. You do not want to see it splayed out in mop form on the ground.
Hopefully another low roll for Fu here.
Fu lives.
Now,
Go ahead.
I was going to say, now I don't do math on stream. So I have no idea if we're getting close to the tipping point here to get into phase 2. We do have Kane swinging for about 22 to 2,800-ish damage.
Yeah, I'm thinking we're right at the tail end of phase 1, and maybe these last few hits are pushing us into phase 2, which does carry the risk of those direct nukes.
Yeah, while the direct nuke is scary, I think the party-wide virus is a little bit worse, depending on how fast and some bad timing.
Yeah, if you get that Cure 4 queued up and that lands at the right time, you're fine. But if you don't, you're absolutely right. An already weakened party gets even weaker, and maybe you suffer the indignity of having some HP runouts, even if the virus doesn't kill you immediately.
Another nice roll there for Fu, only 1,300. Low MP though, gonna have to use another one of the elixirs.
I believe I also saw at least 1 or 2 Ether 2s in there as well, so I think we'll have the MP available, just a matter of having a character available to apply it. Hopefully Fu survives this direct nuke, and he does.
And the sword swings and the punches continue.
Feels good. Feels the hit points are up there. We might need one more low roll to go our way right now to get Nitzy to the finish line. Defeat Protimus.
Ooh, that one's rough, but I think doable, definitely recoverable. Has plenty of MP.
No immediate rocks, thankfully. Baka Shinobi, over 2 years, subscribed to Free Enterprise.
There's the rocks. Couple of dodges there too, really nice. Nitzy's sitting there probably wondering what happened last time.
GG to Nitzy. Protimus falls for the second time tonight. Nitzy sticking with it very well, getting through a couple tough rolls of the dice in the first attempts at Z. And I believe our runner-up tonight, Nitzy, has joined us. GG, Nitzy. Tough one tonight, some tough Z fights, but as I said, great job sticking it through and getting the kill on Protimus.
Nitzy, are you able to hear us?
While we're waiting to get Nitzy on, big thank you to Dishmu for gifting all those subs. One of them landed on Nitsky 1, so as Nitzy straightens out the audio situation, enjoy your new emotes. Try out those Yang punches. They're lots of fun.
There, how about now?
Hey, there you are.
It's amazing when you have the mute on your microphone, how people can't hear you.
It's very effective.
Way too effective. Thank you so much for the GGs. Appreciate it. Was kind of hoping for the swag clutch Young win there on the first time, but didn't quite happen.
Yeah, we were rooting for it there too. It was definitely a tough break. He had low rolled the first two meteos, and that third one just, whew.
Yeah, I was just I put the controller down and said, you know what, Young, you take the wheel. Good luck. Also, thanks Dishmu for the gift sub. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
So-
those rocks hit Yang for maybe 30 or 40 hit points too many, and yeah, that would have been a really fun win there. But yeah, you did stick through it, and yeah, sorry, Bad Karma, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, how you feeling about that seed overall?
I feel like I shouldn't fade Value Cave, and I thought about it later on, and I realized that while Bahamut's there in vanilla, the magic power there is really, really low, and I probably should have taken that a lot sooner, and I would have figured out exactly what was going on in the seed. Probably made a little bit closer than it was.
Yeah, you peaked the value cave early. Y2Sky got to the moon first, but didn't peak it. So, did that affect any of your routing at all, knowing that boss was there?
I did, knowing it was an objective. I knew to come back to it, that I wasn't scared. I was like, okay, I know where Mega Sisters is. That's no problem. I'll come back when I've got a little more confidence. I had my least favorite kind of party makeup for this seed. So it was just a matter of routing that back in, and I just decided, you know what, I'm not going to go try and find edge. The odds of finding the package were really, really low. I had picked up the legend sword, so I was like, okay, maybe I can find the rock somewhere and go that way. And unfortunately, it didn't work out. That's rando. Rando's gonna rando sometimes.
Yeah, unfortunately, you picked up the legend sword right as Y2Sky picked up the adamant, and it was at the crystal sword altar.
Was it? I missed that on the playback there.
Yeah,
unfortunately, we were saying in that's often the spot that runners check last if they're diving the moon. I'm not sure if that's your kind of tendency as well, that even if you're going top down, you know that's going to be the one that you save to last. So we knew that probably was going to be a tough route for you to take to get there.
Yeah, normally I would go bottom up, but I always fade the crystal sword altar. It's always my last check, regardless of the situation. So I probably would have been a little bit further behind had I just not tried to bang my head against evil wall there and not go down so many rabbit holes. But that happens.
Well, you are 1-3 now. You're not able to advance to the table. Are you planning to play the next two matches still?
I'm not sure at this point. Just kind of licking my wounds here and see what's going to happen and what I'm going to do going forward. But I enjoy these tournaments all the time, even though I don't play extremely well in them. And I did just want to say thank you, Bad Karma and Microcorgs, for providing the commentary today. Neobari for rolling this amazing seed that I'm going to love forever and ever. And Jeebus for probably clicking the buttons, wondering what I was up to. And
thank you for allowing us to restream you and put on that show. And kind of demonstrate all that early power that you guys got on this seed. That must have been fun early on, having Avenger and Bahamut and Fu.
Yeah, I was scared at first with the Tele Young start, and I was just thinking, oh geez, where's my DPS going to come from? And then things came along, and it was just easy peasy from there.
Niabari gave you enough Stardust rods, I think you'd agree.
Yeah, raiding that treasury with 3 Stardust rods, that was I could have used some armor, but yeah, 3 Stardust rods, pretty good.
But the best defense isn't a good offense?
That's what they say sometimes.
Well, we do look forward to seeing you on here more. GG's and how you have done in the event. I hope you at least have had an enjoyable experience.
Oh yeah, it's always fun running these things. And again, shout out to everybody behind the scenes. Shout out to Scala, Zoe, everyone, Flurry who makes the website work, Siren that makes these amazing matchups. And I'm looking forward to seeing all the rest of the week's matchups. There are some really good ones on the schedule.
That's for sure. Plenty of great races on all of our Free Enterprise channel, all of our partner channels throughout the week. And I appreciate you going kind of deep with your thanks tonight for all the folks who aren't just on this restream, but are making all of our fun happen. And I agree with you. It's been a great event, lots of fun. Y2Sky mentioned just really enjoying the flag set as well, and I agree with that too. I've had a lot of fun. I'm glad everyone that's participated seems to be enjoying it as well.
Yeah, I enjoyed the flag set. It was good to have Fu back after his little vacation there, and again, one day I'll get better. I just need more time in the world. That's all.
Well, that's all I have. Do you have anything else, Michael Quartz?
Just my well wishes, whether or not you choose to take your further matches. If you take them, good luck and enjoy them. If not, glad that you got to race as you did. And I wish you well in the future. And if you have anything else you'd like to add, that would be the point.
I'm good. You guys are amazing. I can't wait to watch the bot and see where I went sideways.
All right. Thanks a lot, Nitzy, for letting us restream you, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
You as well. Thank you so much.
And that is the end of our race here on Free Enterprise. That isn't the end of Free Enterprise for the night, though. It looks like we're going to be kicking over to Randomania 1. We have Actual JP and Neon Gray doing another Swiss League match going on right now. So we'll be heading over there. Please do not spoil this race for anybody that was watching another race and not here. Keep all spoilers to 0. And we'll see you over there. Thank you again to Niabari and our tracker Jeebus, and to my co-commentator Microcorks. It was a pleasure as always.
Same here, Bad Karma. Glad we got to do this together. Glad we got to watch this race. And yep, thanks to the Jeebus and Niabari for their work as well. Hope you enjoyed it, and enjoy the end. Enjoy the remaining what remains of the race coming up on Randomania.